Over the past 5 years, Larimer County has experienced two of the worst natural disasters in Colorado history, the 2012 High Park fire and the floods of 2013. Brave first responders jumped into action, saving lives and properties in both instances. But even after the fires were out and the water receded, county government faced the monumental task of recovery that continues today. We know that natural disasters such as fire and floods, as well as other emergencies, are just part of living in Larimer County. The Emergency Management Strategic Plan goal seeks to develop strategies to foster relationships that ensure processes for all 4 stages of emergency management: preparedness, response, mitigation, and recovery are in place before another disaster strikes.
Objective 1 of that goal was to create a recovery program. We didn't have a recovery program for the 2012 High Park fire and the 2013 flood, so we created a program which included hiring a director, which is me. That was the first part of that goal. It was accomplished by, once the director was established, we created a program around that, and then we also coordinated with our long-term recovery group and the volunteer organizations active in disaster, which were other parts of that objective. Objective 2 was to create a training and education program for Larimer County for emergencies and disasters. This was the last of all the objectives to be accomplished. We did this by creating the Larimer Connects project, which actually gets out to the communities and tries to help them figure out what their needs and their gaps are, and then to help them build programs. And that has been in process this last year, and it's been highly successful. Goal 3 was to update our emergency operations plan. Our plan during our disasters in 2012 and 2013 was out of date, so we took a lot of time in 2014 and 2015 to update that plan. We also created what's called a comprehensive emergency management plan. So now, instead of just looking at response, we included mitigation, preparedness, response, and recovery into a comprehensive document that allows the county to understand how we work through disasters and emergencies.
Our objective was to look at our county codes, building codes, fire codes, land use codes, and see if they were adequate to deal with the hazards we experience in the county, which is to say high winds, heavy snows, wildfires, floods. So what we did is we assembled an expert committee that included the county emergency manager, the principal planner, myself, our wildfire hazard specialist, some outside people, and we looked at all our county codes, and we spent a couple months going over these and doing some research and decided that our codes were generally adequate, but we needed some enhancements, at least in the building codes. And so we brought in the Structural Engineers Association of Colorado. So we met with them, went through our usual code adoption process, and in the end we came out with a stronger building code, which had some stricter requirements for building where there's heavy snows and high winds. That then went to public hearings before the Board of Commissioners was adopted, and that's basically what we did to update and improve our codes.
The 5th objective was to create an unmet needs and community fragility study. This was actually added after the strategic plan was created. It was added by the Board of Commissioners when they saw research on community fragility and what it would mean for our ability to recover and ability to bounce back after disaster. So they asked us to create this community fragility study. We went out for a vendor and we completed that project in 2015. That led us to understand better what our community needs were, both from the floods and the fires, as well as just overall what would they need as far as land use, emergency management, preparedness, and so we were able to develop a program around that. Larimer Connects, which I talked about earlier, was actually born from that project. So that was accomplished in 2015 and it's been successful.